Hello everyone. It's exactly 3 years since my last video and 4 years to the date of my cervical disc replacement C5-C6. So what better time than to finally provide an update. I've seen all the comments and messages, and it's definitely been a lot going on in my life, so not able to respond as quickly as I used to, so I apologize for that. But I've seen all the comments and people who've gone through with surgery and are going through the symptoms that I went through 4 years ago. So it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you for everyone who's commented and messaged, and I do appreciate you all for continuing to do that. That being said, the reason why I didn't really provide an update for so long is because there was really no update to give. I was just living my normal life. Um, Occasional neck pain and all that, but nothing that was too, nothing that I couldn't deal with, so to speak. So, um, I was running quite a bit. I ran my first marathon, ran quite a bit of other races, and was very active, going on bike rides and going to the gym and just living my life as I wanted to live it, so to speak. So really wasn't any update to give. But that being said, last few months or so, my neck pain has progressed a little bit. A lot of tightness, some pinching in the back of my neck, at the base of the back of my neck, and that was still there post surgery, but it's just gotten like really uncomfortable, having constantly to do stretches and having to take Tylenol and Advil on a daily basis, and I still do, just to relieve some of the symptoms that I have. So I decided to kind of try to not ignore it and establish care here in Pennsylvania. Since I had surgery in Florida, I didn't have a local neurosurgeon in case I needed to go through with some sort of intervention in the future. So I decided a few months ago to book an appointment with a neurosurgeon in the hospital that I work at, and got imaging done, X-rays, MRI, CT, all that stuff. And a few weeks ago, I went over the imaging with that surgeon, and the appointment went well, in that my symptoms weren't dismissed or anything like that. They were taken seriously. Um, as I said, there's pinching the back of my neck, and there's also that feeling of sometimes weakness in my left arm, kind of my tricep, sometimes my forearm. My thumb sometimes will go numb, randomly, if I'm very active that day, or I have a very active and physically demanding job at work. So that can bring on some stress on my neck and my arm. So I mentioned all that to the doctor, and went over my imaging. And the good thing is the disc replacement I had is in good shape. Like, it's where it's supposed to be. It's not dislodged or anything like that. It's where it's supposed to be, 4 years later. So that's a great thing. The downside is the numbness that I do feel and the pain that I do get is still from that segment in my vertebrae, so C5-C6, which is kind of strange. It's like, there's no disc there to compress against the nerve. Why am I still getting this nerve pain, this pinching in my neck? And it seems to be because because my motion is preserved at that level, when I do move my neck, there is still pinching in the foramen, through the foramen, in the back of my neck. So it kind of explains why when I'm at rest or if I'm laying down, I don't feel any compression on my nerve, or I don't get any neck pain or anything like that. It's only when I actually move my neck. So when I'm moving my neck, I feel pinching there. I feel pinching there. If I'm moving back, I feel pinching in the back of my neck. It's because that nerve is getting compressed every time I move my neck at that level. And I've said previously, I've C7-T1, is a pretty big herniation, but it's not affecting me. It doesn't give me the symptoms. It's still at that C5-C6 level, which, is kind of scary and unfortunate, because I thought this would kind of solve my issues, and it hasn't fully. It solved the issues of like that intense pain that I had 4 years ago, and I'm still able to go for runs and go to gym, but it's just this constant pain that it's really a pain to deal with on a daily basis, and you're always in chronic pain, and it's not muscular in nature. It's not like I can get a massage and that'll alleviate my symptoms. Like it is there's like some sort of structural problem there that my body is responding to with pain. So his suggestion to me is to actually explant the disc replacement and just fuse the levels of C5-C6 together. And it's pretty upsetting news, because the reason why I got the disc replacement in the first place was to avoid having a fusion, because I'm worried about adjacent disc disease and causing other issues with my other discs above and below C5-C6, and also knowing the recovery is going to be much longer. With the fusion, the recovery is 6 weeks in a collar. When I had a disc replacement, I wasn't in a collar. I didn't have to be in a collar. The next day I was moving my neck, semi-normally without restriction. And now I'm going to be in a collar for 6 weeks, and I want to be fully recovered for minimum 8 weeks, more likely 12 weeks. So about 2 to 3 month recovery until there's no restrictions. So that is his recommendation. I trust him quite a bit. He's well known in the area. He's done a ton of these surgeries in the area. So I trust his opinion, and I'm 97% sure I'm going to go through with the surgery, in order to fix the issues, so to speak, once and for all at that level, and hopefully come back at a point where I don't have to deal with this nerve pain and constant just pain daily. Yeah, it's upsetting news, and it's a decision I don't take lightly, but I know the longer I put it off, it's not going to get better. This is as good as it gets, and it's probably going to get worse, just because it's just the nature of the injury. I'm just trying to figure out timing-wise as far as getting the surgery. I'm thinking in the next month or so. I'm just kind of figuring out work scheduling, and taking time off, and saving money financially, because I'm not going to be making income for a bit of time. So that's another factor that I'm kind of planning for as well, and it sucks. It really sucks. It kind of hit me this week, so I've been having a lot of anxiety about the surgery, and what the recovery is going to look like. 'Cause I know it's not going to be as good as it was 4 years ago, because I thought I had a great recovery from my first surgery. So that's the update. 4 years later, gonna get a fusion, and it sucks. I still don't regret getting that disc replacement 4 years ago, because it did wonders for me. And you know, I'm still able to do what I want to do. It's just I'm always in pain doing it, which is kind of sucky. So, you know, maybe it wasn't right for me for my anatomy. Who's to say? We don't really know. But that's where I'm at now. So, this is not gonna be the last you hear of me. I'm not gonna be disappearing for 3 years now. It's there's gonna be an upcoming video, I'm sure. So if there's any comments or questions or anything like that, I'll do my best to respond. But I'll be posting a video in the near future. Maybe if there's enough questions, like the repetitive questions that I get, I can do a quick Q&A of whatever you want to know. So that's going to be the update for now. Happy 4 years. But gonna go back on a knife and hopefully fix this once and for all. So with that, hope you all have a great Labor Day, and I'll see you soon.